Alrighty, let's see here. And we should be live. Let's go. And this time the chat's actually there right away. Perfect. Not that I'll likely need it, but you never know. Alrighty, hello everyone and welcome back to Oxygen Not Included. As always, we are on a Oceania map, so we're gonna have a lot of these ocean biomes with the hydrogen, the salt water, got a lot of sand, sedimentary rock, and then some bleach stone. Got a lot of salt in there too. Let's see, yeah, salt is the pink stuff here. Very pink biome. And then we also have all the DLC enabled. Probably not going to use the bionic duplicate DLC too often, other than for the skins. Maybe later down the line we can do a colony on one of the other planets that has a only bionic duplicants or something like that, or use the bionic duplicants just in the rocket as the pilot. But anyways, today we explored from one end to the other. We've seen both sides where the neutronium is, bounding us to this planetoid. Now we're trying to head up and hopefully find the surface. We also got access to seeing all of the fossils. So we can kind of see here, usually this is down near the oil biome, so this is pretty close to down there, yeah. This is probably near the bottom. In fact, I think if I pull out a tile, it'll stop being able to place once we get too far down. Yeah, so like that's like the bottom of the world. So we're already pretty close to the oil area, which is nice. But it's still gonna take a while to get there. And here is undiggable, so we actually can't go this way, which is fine by me. Yeah, we don't have access to mining obsidian yet, because if we go to our skills, we have two duplicants that have super hard digging. So they both have hard digging and super hard digging, so they can dig up very firm material, which is certain granites and stuff, I think, that usually can't without anything. And then we can also dig the abyssalite, so this stuff here is abyssalite. Abyssalite is very insulative. It kind of crosses between each of the biomes in some. Most of the biomes have an abyssalite boundary border on at least one of its sides, and it just helps to keep the heat in or out between some of the biomes, although they can be broken up, like with this spawning in here. It breaks that up, and that can happen in some places. But yeah, so that would usually be a bounding block that would hinder our excavation, but we can get past it now. So the only other things we can't dig, we cannot dig diamond and obsidian, so we just have to look out for obsidian specifically. We cannot dig yet until we get that third skill. And then that last digging one is just for corium, which unless we do a nuclear reactor and explode the nuclear reactor, we're never going to see corium anyways, so it's not really too relevant. But anyway, so we don't want to come into there. To be honest, probably don't even care about that bit, but we can come over here, and we don't want to get in the way of this anyways, so we might as well just come this way. That is polluted water and not just polluted oxygen, so we don't want to tap that open. Want as few liquids coming down here as possible. Already have all this here to be annoying. In fact, I think we can do something like this. Should dump this into there. Make that highest priority. Make these a lower priority in particular. That's a good solution for that. Hopefully that'll help drain this out at least a little bit. In fact, can we just kind of tile these right away? Someone's suffocating. That ain't great. It's probably just because they had to run down here, but they're fine as long as they can get back up. Getting wet is not great for that, though. Keep this at 1, please. All right, they're building right away. That's good. Someone's starving, but that's fine. It's literally just because their schedules are a little wonky right now, but it shouldn't matter too much yet. Alrighty. And these guys are not going because there's no power. Oh, let's pause here. Look at the gas. Yeah, we got a lot of gases roaming around. It ain't ideal. We'll clean up shop later. We need to make a better base area anyways. We should dig out this uranium thing too while we're at it. And also, I'm still just trying to figure out where we want our main axis shaft because, so with the main axis shaft, I want it to be 3 wide, kind of like this. Because what you can do is, down the middle, you can have the ladder. Then on one of the sides, you can have a fire pole for going down faster. It's real fast going down. It's good. You always want that. And then on the other side, either of the sides, it doesn't really matter. But the opposite side of the fire pole, you can put the tubing. Because there's these duplicate tubes, the plastic tubes. Let's see. It would be under in our research, wouldn't it? Let's see. There's some of the home luxury. Here we go. Transit tubes. So later down the line when we have a lot of plastic, that'll be nice. Also, I found out instead of doing Drecos, we could get some beta hives. Get the betas. If I look those up here. There's a beta hive, and then those make betas here. As you see. Now, betas come out of the beta hive basically infinitely as long as it's in the right temperature. And then there's a new plant with the prehistoric planet pack. Not the dew dripper. I think we have one down here. Yeah, these guys, the lure plant. If I could talk right, the Laura plants. They eat creatures, and they can eat only flying creatures. So the main one that the prehistoric planet pack wants you to use is the nits, but they ain't too great because in order for them to prosper, they have to sting things, and I don't want them stinging my duplicants because it gives them a debuff, which ain't nice. So I don't think we'll be using them long term, but we can use the betas, which are literally free as long as we can keep them cold enough. Unfortunately, these guys need to be at least 10 degrees, 10 to 55 degrees, and then I'm pretty sure the beta hive, yeah, the beta needs to be under 10. So it's kind of annoying there, but if you put them in chlorine is so insulative, it doesn't really do heat transfer good at all. So as long as their body temperatures from the beginning are fine, it shouldn't even out for a long while. And as new betas spawn, they spawn cold, so it's fine. And then if we can do any sort of heating for the Luras, then they're fine. So it shouldn't be too big of a deal to do that. That should be actually pretty easy. And then what the Luras do is they make amber from it. And then what you can do with amber, You can turn it into resin and fossil by heating it up or putting it in a plant pulverizer, and then that gets you resin, fossil, and sand, so you might as well just do that instead of heating it, because heating also takes up precious power usually. But yeah, so you can get it from mimicas getting eaten, nits getting eaten, puffs getting eaten, shine bugs getting eaten, and then betas getting eaten. And I think out of these 5, betas will probably be the easiest. And I'm pretty sure if we go to our star map here, which actually we can't see anything yet, but what we can do is nothing because I have not found the teleporter yet, even though I think this is the teleporter. Well, once we find the teleporter, the second planet, I'm pretty sure is a radioactive swamp. Alrighty. I just noticed that I had my mic muted. I wonder how long that was going on for. Hopefully it wasn't too long. Jeez. But anyways, we're not going to take this bionic dupe. Could take the sand. We'll see what these other dupes are like. So bubbles. They're just a cooking one that has some medicine, but they research less, and researching less is bad. Bad. We're not taking bubbles. Let's see Camille. They're a decorator with some more construction but less excavation. That's also bad. We do not want less excavation. That's real bad. So I think we'll just take the sand. Yeah. Yeah, no. We'll just take the sand, even though we have so much sand on the map. So much sand. Also, this is a big chunk of granite here. It's crazy. Might tap into that at some point. Okay, so they're coming down here. This is just a whole lot of carbon dioxide. All our carbon dioxide from up here is falling down to here. Let's see. Don't think they've started this yet, but that's fine. That's also just a pit of chlorine and carbon dioxide. Jeez. I just hate how the chlorine is always just underneath the oxygen, so the instant it gets to a hole where they're going to go down to dig, they're always going through that, and they're getting a debuff from it, and it's annoying. But what can you do until you make a filter for it? Can't do much is what you can do. Alright, so everything in here except for the unperishable stuff is being held. The pickled meal should be held too, which is being made here. We don't even have any anyways, but... Alright. Well, they are digging slowly. Let me check skills again. No new skills, alright. Oh yeah, you have to worry about oxygen, but actually right now it doesn't matter too much. What we're doing is we have these oxygen diffusers, and the oxygen diffusers, they use algae, which is this type of tile on the map. You dig it up, or you can get it in some other ways, but it's usually not worth it to get it in other ways for the most part, except the lums. If we get their variant, it's actually pretty good. You get it basically from feeding it plants, which you feed the plants water, so you're getting it from water. Not too bad. And it's a good exchange rate, I think. I haven't looked into it too much. But basically these things just take algae and they turn it into oxygen directly. So as long as we have these things going with power, we have a lot of oxygen production. Doesn't matter too much. The thing that's more annoying right now is, first of all, the chlorine getting mixed in, which if I was more careful with cracking into biomes, it wouldn't matter, but I just wasn't too careful with that. We also have some hydrogen, but that flows above where it doesn't really interfere with stuff as much, so hydrogen is usually not as big of a problem as chlorine. But then we also had the problem with carbon dioxide, which, as you see, it's filling up this whole shaft. My duplicants have to basically climb all the way to the top just to get good air. So they're going back and forth to breathe, which makes digging very slow. What we could do is we could set up a... probably under refinement? No... ventilate. Maybe it is in plumbing. Maybe we don't have it unlocked yet. Let me look. Yeah, no. Oh, yeah, we do. Oxygen tab. That's where it is. We can use a carbon skimmer to get rid of it. But doing that turns the turns normal water into polluted water. Doing it that way. We don't have trees yet. There is a bonbon tree here, but you can also get arbor trees, but they don't make oxygen in the game. Funny enough, they do not make oxygen. They just make wood, and you can also feed animals with them and stuff. what there is there's two plants. One plant is called the alveo vera. This plant makes oxalite out of carbon dioxide, but this thing is like sub-zero. It needs to be below zero up to -80. So it needs to be cold. This is for the ice planet, for their start, for oxygen production, basically. Then there's also oxyferns. They would be the closest to a tree, I suppose. They just take carbon dioxide and make oxygen, but they need to be fed water anyways. So early game, when you don't want to deal with feeding stuff water, you can just use algae distillers. It's the oxygen diffusers, I mean. The oxygen diffusers from algae. It's just the easiest way. And then later in the game, once you have cooling and whatnot, you can research, where is it at? I think it's up here somewhere. Where is it? Let's search it. Electrolyzer, and there we go. Oh, I want to exit. So under, is it? Yeah, right here. The electrolyzer, you can feed it water, and then it'll make oxygen and hydrogen. Now you use the oxygen to breathe, obviously, so it's great, very efficient for that. It makes a lot of heat though, so you'll want cooling systems for it, or else it can get out of hand real fast. But then it also makes the hydrogen, which if you set up a certain machine, either a Rodriguez is what they call the machine, the basic machine for it. Otherwise, if you set up a different type called a Hydra, which has some crazy stuff with overpressurizing and liquids and whatnot. But if you use one of those machines, you can actually get power from the hydrogen using hydrogen generators. And for the most part, with those machines, you can get more power out than you put in. Yeah, Rodriguez, back in the day, like when Oxygen Not Included was a newer game, like 5 years ago, something like that, longer ago. This game's like more than 8 years old or something like that. But way back in the day when it was new, there were different designs floating around. And then the one that got real popular was the Rodriguez. There's a half Rodriguez and then a full Rodriguez, depending on how much electrolyzers you put into it. But basically, it's hard to explain unless I actually built it, which I don't have the materials to build it right now because I don't have it all researched. But basically, there is a electrolyzer, couple electrolyzers, and then the hydrogen flows up to the top. There's a vent there to pull it out. And then on the bottom, there's vents to pull the oxygen that sinks below out. And then it's set up in a way where there's like an equilibrium between hydrogen and oxygen. So then the gas layer settling keeps them from going into the wrong vents. And then as long as you're pulling out all the stuff right, you don't have to do any filtering, which usually would take up a lot of power to do. So it makes it very clean, very power efficient. And like I said, with the hydrogen generators, you can actually make more power out than it's taking. So it's actually power positive. You make power while also making oxygen by just putting water, and it's really nice. But then there's another different machine called a Hydra, and that uses liquids layered up, small amounts of liquids in layers on top of the electrolyzer itself, so that it thinks that the room is not overpressurized. Because once there's enough oxygen in the room, the building itself won't produce any more because it'll be overpressured. But if you put the small amounts of liquids there, it thinks it's always under pressure. So you can pressurize a room with a ton of hydrogen and a ton of oxygen and have it running 100% all the time. And then you can just tap into that very pressurized room at any time that you want. So you can have like a backlog of hydrogen for extra emergency power or something like that. So I like to use hydras more. There's a specific design from Oceania Gaming that I like to watch a lot. They do a lot of good oxygen not included content. They have a design that fits neatly in too tall, basically. So for normal room sizes, you want the room to be 4 segments, and then you have the roof/floor, and then 4 segments again, roof/floor. Their design takes up exactly 2 layers worth, so it's a very neat build. I like to use that. But anyways, basically with the Rodriguez, when it was floating around on the forums, they think that the person who originally came up with the design was named Rodriguez, so it's named after them. But it's almost like an urban myth thing. I wouldn't know the exact person. But anyways, yeah, so that's that. So later on in the game, once we have all of our saltwater geysers, our polluted water geysers and whatnot, once they're all tamed and we have them under control and piping into everywhere and making an infinite storage, we can use all that extra water to make oxygen instead of using up algae. There is another thing that we can do with the polluted water vents specifically, actually. There's some interactions in the game that are really funny that I'm going to do, and I'll showcase it once we actually get to it. But basically, polluted water will turn itself slowly over time into polluted oxygen. It'll emit it. It'll off-gas it into the air if there's extra space in the air. And you can use that to your advantage and filter it to make clean oxygen. And that can be a good oxygen source if you don't want to do a electrolyzer right away. Now, if we look around, they're really not getting to this yet, but they are coming down here a lot more. We're seeing more down here. Still pretty slow at it, but they're getting there. This being opened up is pretty nice because it's forcing a little bit more of the actual air down, a little bit at least. Probably should start doing some filtering there. We should get this all dug out too. Need to make some plumbing, get a proper bathroom loop going, and then we can add a carbon skimmer into that pretty easy. Sure can't wait to pick up that reed fiber once we tap into that too. Can I see anything around this? No, just the abyssali. There's a pinch of pepper nut in there for some reason. And then it's just lava, or magma, I guess. Someone's starving, but you're fine. It's because they gotta walk so long to get their food. But I think it's worth it, because this keeps it cool in here. Yeah, it's still -30. All this stuff is just fine. They're deep frozen, stale environment. Yeah, that's staying carbon dioxide. That's good. All right. Having the polluted oxygen in there is pretty bad though, because if it does come down, that gets rid of it real fast. And then eventually I am going to need an actual freezer, because this is doing that. Okay, we need more research. All right, let's put it into... Do we want HVAC first, or getting it towards improved ventilation first? Having canister drainer would be nice. Yeah, I'll pull it into this first, I think. Getting a thermoregulator will be good for the Dreckos, so that'll be nice to get too. We also still need to research the actual animal control for ranching. That'll be important to do. Let me check. Did we have any skills we did not? Not yet. Okay. There they go, building it out. Well, they're digging it. Someone else is going to build it. Let's think here. So I'm gonna need better power than just a manual generator for sure. Let's see how much coal is on the map that we have available right now. $23 tons. Yeah, that ain't too bad. Let me look at power quick. Just one of these takes 20 grams per second. Okay. Ooh, we got the fancy one. You know what? Yeah. I think we'll move everything up here in general. Like the bedroom up here. Might do bathroom below more. Ooh, or we can kind of just keep everything here, and then up here we'll do the ranching. I think that's what we'll do. Keep everything kind of just down here. Let's see. So I probably want to put the coal generators near the bottom of the base, since they're going to be making all the carbon dioxide. And then that means I also kind of want the bathroom kind of down there, so then I can extend the loop out for the carbon skimmer right away. Yeah, alrighty. Because right now, whenever someone's not running on this, it's just no power, and we need that power going. So I think in that case, let's dig some stuff out here would be important. Let's dig to like right there. Pull this over. Then we'll do the same on this side. In fact, I think we'll dig into this up to like there. And the same thing here. Put this in the same way. Alrighty. We'll get that started. I really don't want this to still be the central access point of the base, central spine, because it gets blocked off directly by that. And I don't like it wiggling around. I want it to be a single long line. I need to find a spot where I can put in a single long line and it won't matter. Ugh. Let's see here. What about in between this and that? So if I did something like around here-ish. Just cuts it close there, so that should be fine. Coming through here. That looks fine. Of course, that's where all the water is. But that actually wouldn't be too bad. Yeah, that could work. So later on, when things are more established, I could probably just put it right between there. All right, I think we're gonna pause for a minute, take a little break, and then I'll be right back. Alrighty, let's get back to it. I also like water, but it is a big obstacle in this game. Because it just gets in the way of everything. Having to pump it to places takes up a lot of time and power, so unless you're just having it fall down, it's really hard to move. And when duplicants go through it, they obviously could drown if they get stuck in it for too long, and then also they get some soggy feet debuff, make them move slower and whatnot. It's just a big pain. Ionic duplicants, they actually electrocute themselves in it and get a real bad debuff. It's real bad. Alright, we got a new pod here. Let's see what we got. Overgrow figs, so that's some food. Then we got a bionic booster. Dupe. Let's see. So their chip. So their booster is suit training. Not really important right now. They have less athletics and less agriculture. The less athletics is really bad, so I wouldn't even take them even if I was taking bionics. Let's see. Stinky. 10 machinery. And they're an early bird. Alright. Immune to food poisoning doesn't matter too much. Less science though, and they cannot cook. Cooking doesn't matter, but less science is kind of bad. But they would be a really good operator. And then rancher, big rancher, food poisoning. All right. Decreased germ resistance doesn't really matter too much, and they can't research. Not too good either. -3 science is very annoying. Because they level up slower then. But 10 machinery, that's a lot of machinery. And they have early bird, which gives +2 to all things in that schedule block. I am already at 7 duplicants though. I think I'll hold off for a little while. Let them keep going. Once this is all dug out here, then we'll start doing stuff with it. Also, I want to kind of dig it out here. And then This I will do. I don't want to do this right away. There we go. So what I'll do is this layer will be the bathroom layer, and this layer will be the coal, the actual generators will be put down here then. Someone earned a skill point. Our grilling one earned a skill point. Grilling 2 doesn't really matter much. More strength will be good though, so I'll give them that. And then we can put hatch ranches up here and get the hatches going, which will be good. What I could do, I could make a small closed loop. We can just grab a liquid pump, quickly pump some stuff into, let's see here. So we have carbon skimmer, and then we have the water sieve. So the carbon skimmer turns clean water into polluted water, and the water sieve turns polluted water back into clean water. And it's 1-to-1 ratio for both of the buildings, so we can literally just make a closed water loop. And we could put that wherever, except for the fact that it needs power, so we're still going to need to put some power generators down. Let's build this, so that's going to go like that. And then we're going to have some doors like that. Not forget that that's how we're doing our doors. All right, and then ideally we'd want some, let's make it out of cobalt because cobalt doesn't really matter too much. We need some refined metal for some automation, which also we want to research into that. What are we researching right now? This stuff. We got that. This does not matter at all. Canister drainer isn't required yet. We don't even have the canister filler yet and the canister emptier. This stuff is more important than that. But what's more important right now actually is getting smart home. And then let's see, we already have smart batteries, so we just need to get the automation going, because then we can automate the coal generators to be vastly more efficient than usual. But with that, so each segment takes like what, 10 refined metal, so we'll need some for that. And then for the smart battery you need, oh yeah, we already get some lead, so it won't be too bad, although lead has that overheat thing, which is bad for heat producing power generators. So we need 200 for the smart battery, so we can make 200. We'll just do cobalt, I suppose. Although one of these two would make the overheat temperature higher, so I think we'll do some copper. So one batch of this does 50, 100 into 50, so we'll need 4 batches for that. And then the wiring can definitely be lead because that doesn't get affected by the heat as badly. So we'll have that go right away. Mop that up, please. All right, and then just in general, we want, we'll put this right here. And then we want it like this, I think. So then once we have auto sweepers and all that stuff with solid movement, wherever the heck that is. The solid transport once we get conveyor rails and stuff. And then the auto sweeper can access these things. We'll put a storage bin here. And then this will get connected into the base. Each of these does 600, yeah. So that'll get connected there. Then we'll connect it right over here into a smart battery once that gets done. Let's turn this one off for now. This does not need to be sweep only. And it will be coal. Perfect. So that'll get going. We'll get some power into there. Oranges are all right. All right, there we go. We got the automation wire. And then the next important thing. Do we need any of that yet? No. Probably want portable gases right away. Unless we want to do HVAC first. Nah. Although actually, getting up to animal control first is probably preferential to the gas stuff. Some coal down there even. Shine bug egg. Hey, we got our first batch of copper sitting there. Just need 3 more batches and then we can make the thingy. Its usual overheat temperature is 75. If we use lead, it's -20, so it would be 55. Which the heat over here is right now 23. You know what? For this, we can just do that. It doesn't matter too much. So that'll be plugged into there. And then once we go to the automation overlay, we'll connect all these together here. Perfect. Now we are going to have to upgrade our wire later to hold more power before it breaks, but it should be fine. For now, we are going to need refined wire for doing the metal refinery, because this thing takes 1.2 kilowatts each. Also, let's switch these over to the cool blueprint. They're fancy coal generators. Look at that. Nice. Okay, now this is set. Let's make it 10 and 90. All right, so they're running, and then once this gets filled up, it is fine. In fact, we probably don't even need this anymore. Actually, we'll leave it there for now. It's not making too much heat compared to everything else that's making heat anyways. Also, is this stifled? It's idle. I don't know if it's stifled. I hope it's stifled because I would like it to stop making heat. I don't want it to be too hot in here. Like, it's already really crazy. And then once that transferred to here. Ugh. Okay, but anyways, now we have power. And then once this goes down to below 10%, these will kick back on. So they only actually work when we actually need power. Yeah, there we go. And then once it gets up to 90, then it turns these off. So we use a lot less coal than we would have otherwise. It's so good. All right, and then with that, we can take a power line and kind of just pull that down here. We'll just take it way down here. Yeah, around here should be fine. And then carbon skimmer. Should we pull it down more? Yeah, let's do it like right here. And then water sieve. Do. No. Yeah, let's do it like that. And then for plumbing, we can just... So that's the out there. Well, this out can go... Yeah, we can just do something like that. Not the cleanest, but it's whatever. Could have switched them around and then it would be cleaner, but I like it this way anyways. All right. So that'll get dug out like that. We will pull the power cable right down here. Connect into those. Good. Do all that. Construction only. Construct all this fast, please. We want that. Now we need to grab normal water, which we can just bottle from this. Let's see what we have here. We have bottle drainer, so we can use that. We'll place that there. Oh, that uses refined metal for a bottle drainer? That's kind of crazy. Bottle emptier only uses rock. But okay, so then there's that. And then what we'll do is... So the clean water has to go on the output. So it has to go like right here. That should work. There we go. So that'll work fine. The duplicants will pick up some of the water from here, which, by the way, this should get moved down. Not yet, but we'll have to move that very soon. And then, so it'll take some of the water from there, and it'll just shove the water into this thing. This will fill the loop up, then this will start working, getting rid of all the carbon dioxide that's everywhere here. And then we could extend this down farther if we wanted. Pretty easily. And we could have just incorporated this into our bathroom loop, but we want our bathroom like way up here. In fact, let's build a bathroom right away, right now. I just want a bathroom in. A plumbed bathroom. Okay, so what we want is... We're gonna have 4 sinks and 4 toilets, and each of them is 2 wide, so we need 16 wide, which is going to make a 64 room, which I'm pretty sure for washrooms or latrines, I suppose it is. No, washroom is the right one. It has to be up to 64, so 64 is the max anyways. So it'll be 4 and 4. And then we can put in some showers on the other side of that. So, do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Let's make sure that's correct. Yep. So then what we'll do is then we'll also have some showers here. And then we'll have the actual thingy over here. So then in that case, this just needs to get expanded out this whole way, I suppose. And we'll do the same up here. Just make all this actual tiling. And then let's check this quick. Hey, cook food. And then the automation. And more skills. Better researching is always better. All right. Let's look here. So we want medicine is where the sinks are for some reason. Yeah, we'll do it this way. So we'll have 4 sinks. And then for toilets, do we want mush green toilets or puce pink? Actually, did we have anything for the sinks? Nothing special for the sink. I suppose we could alternate. So this one will be puce pink, this one will be mush green, puce pink, and then mush green. There we go. All right, and then the shower. We'll put 2 showers in. And we'll separate them out 1 like that. You'll see why later. And then we need another water sieve. So the outs are there. No, I keep trying to press R to rotate, but that's research. In this game, O is rotate. All right, that should be good. And now let's do the plumbing for this. I'm gonna pull the pipe up into the roof just to make it look cooler. And then the out or inputs for the machines, output of the purifier will go through the floor. Make sure all these are connected. So that's the closed loop there. And then depending on what plant we use, which I think we'll probably just use a thimble reed. Do we have any thimble reed seeds? Let's see here. We do not have any thimble reed seeds yet. Let's dig up this thimble reed. We'll get that. And then what we can do is, if we cancel that, and then under food we put a hydroponic farm tile there. So the big thing here with this loop is toilets make more polluted water than clean water they get in. And then once this cleans it, that means we have more clean water than we started with. So if we just ran this in a completely closed loop, it would slowly fill up and then these would become inoperable. So we need a way to take out the extra. So what I'm actually going to do is we'll just pull this right off of here. So it'll be the polluted water coming out. So if it can't go into the sieve, because the sieve here, this whole pipe is full, then the overflow will go into here and we'll get some extra reed fiber just on the side. So that'll be nice. And this thing does consume more than the duplicants would produce, even if we have like a full colony of duplicants. Okay, so all that's good there. And then the only other thing we need to do is power it. We can pull this down into the ground now that we have actual blocks. Actually, let's just go through here. Up into it there. Perfect. Alrighty. And showers don't need to be in a washroom for them to work, but the toilets and the sinks do. So that's going there. How's this going? It's not really finished at all yet. That's going to be slow though. Just like it was slow digging, it's going to be slow building. But then once this is done, it's going to start taking the carbon dioxide down and it's going to be great. While we're waiting, let's see what our... Oh, well, hey, there we go. We got new printables. Let's do the blueprint before the printable. Let's see what we get for our blueprint. Wow, ick yellow storage bins. If we look at our storage bin, what do we have for blueprints? So we have mush green storage bin. Now we have the ick yellow, but we also have our regal neutronium, which I think fits with these guys better. So we'll do that. This does not have any special. Okay. Very regal storage bin. Very silly. Very silly. Okay. Let's actually pause because I didn't want to look at this. A lot of duplicate options. Otherwise we can get some seeds. Let's check out Herald. Would be nice to have an even 8 duplicates for now. Maybe we'll get 10 and then settle on that for a little while, but we'll see what happens. Okay, so Herald is a decorator and a tidy supplier. Okay. They're gourmet, which is not good. Because if they're not making food, less food morale is actually bad. So even though it's a green trait, it's bad. And then Grease Monkey, more machinery is nice. Unpracticed Artist is actually pretty good because more decor morale, but the Gourmet offsets that more. So if we wanted a decorating tidier, they might be nice. But actually, as a decorator, they're bad then. So that's kind of... I don't think we'll take Herald, but let's see what Bubble is. Cooking one with shriveled taste buds is great. Caregiver doesn't matter. Plant murderer, not too relevant. So if we wanted more cooking, but we already have a cooking one. Let's see, Ghostman. Builder doctorer. They have electrical engineering, nice, but they're farter. I do not want a farter. That's bad, very bad. Less husbandry and less bladder. We'll just take these seeds for now. Yeah, they don't really... I don't know. They function as bins, and that's what matters. Just need it to hold any extra coals, and then it's nearby the thing. Also, we can set it to 6. It doesn't need to be super crazy. These guys are set to 9, though. What is the invalid? Oh, that's fine. It's just because they can't be built until they already have the blocks beneath them. But then once those are done, we can rip these out. Stop using just the outhouses. I want to make a better bedrooms too, but that shouldn't matter yet right now. This is important. I'm not sure why they're not doing that. At least they're doing this though. Any new skills yet? No. All right. How is the research coming along? Okay, so we got the basic, and then once we have the incubator, we'll be set. Then we'll just make a simple hatch ranch or 2. I don't want just 1, I don't think. 2 or 3. Well, to be honest, what do we need it for? We have tons of coal right now, even without ranching them. Obviously, that'll run out eventually, but eventually we'll have our natural gas going. The only other thing that hatches would be good for would be the meat for food. The food, I don't really care care about too much right now, though. We have 32,000 kilograms, which for 7 duplicates is a good little tiny stock. Oh, also, we have pacu fillet on the thing, so we should make cooked seafood. And for consumables, not allow them to eat the fillet. Yeah, yeah. All right. Cool. There's all the sinks. We can set them. They only need to use the sink when they're leaving, so we'll set them all to left. We're gonna have to put some water into this from the beginning too. Bottle drainer, I suppose we can just put right here for now. And we'll put this right like that. And that'll just be temporary just to start it up. This ain't getting built at all yet. I want them to do this first, please. Yellow alert, yellow alert. Build the carbon skimmer already, you sillies. There's a lot of polluted dirt here. That stuff off gases just like the polluted water, so it's making polluted oxygen here. Alright, at least they got all that in. Now they just need to do the actual buildings. Also, getting some of this wire right away, please. Just do all this wire. There we go. Get the buildings and the wire, that's what matters. Nothing else matters right now. I just need you guys to do that. Roots in the dirt? What, you talking about these? These are buried objects. If you dig this tile out, there's stuff in it. This is a swamp chard. That's a food item. I'm not sure what else you would be talking about. To the left of the shaft. These are plants. This is an animal. Plug slug. That's swamp chard. That's a bog bucket. That's a mellow mallow. That there is a bug. Like a glitch. I don't know what that is going on right there. People are starving. Why are they starving? Eat your food. Skill point. Yes. Auto. Why did I have you do digging? Because you already had some excavating, didn't you? Alright, well, you can keep doing that, I guess. Build these already, jeez. Assign this. This can stay flat. This needs to be normal water. And it does not need to be sweep only. Someone made a mess. Fine. I'll make everything back to normal then. They peed down here. That ain't great. He'll get swept up though. Someone's suffocating. Who? You. Don't die. Breathe. Okay, thank you. Jeez. Luckily this, once they actually build it, will solve all the problems of that. Just get these done. Jeez, if they can get those two done and then they fill it with some water, then it'll just start. Okay, we need to put some more research in now. So now we can finish up that. Please get this done. Build them. Takes so long to build. They can't even finish building. Oh. Come on. Yeah, it is kind of that bad though. Alright, all the buildings are in now. They just need to fill it with water. So we'll see Nails is doing that currently. Let's watch Nails. There we go. Nails filled it a little bit. Let's check the thingy. We can set this back to 5 now. If we look at that overlay. There we go. We'll let this fill up good. All right, and it seems to be doing good, so we'll turn that off. And we'll just suppress the current on that. Also, this guy here will be some normal water, please. That'll be good for that. Okay, so this is running now. So it is taking in... How much does this do at a time? 280. Alrighty. Yep. Around 300 average, I suppose. And we should actually dig out that whenever we can. Now this thing's fully self-sufficient, except this thing needs to get filled with sand every now and then. But that'll keep going, and that will slowly pull down the carbon, and then once the carbon is down more, then they'll be able to breathe for farther. So that's good. All right, we got that done, so now we can research something else. Let's research up to there. Oh, let's get that done. All right, so unless I wanted food, ranching hatches actually isn't that important right now. But I do want to ranch Drecos, so we can set up some early Dreco ranches. Let's see what we get for skills. Okay, you can build better, because I would like to get demolition. And let's actually set you as a builder, so we know your hat. Once this is done, that'll be nice. Not there yet. Yeah, I think we'll set up some Dreco ranches. Do we want to do them here? I don't know. I guess for early start, we might as well just do them right here. How much do we want? Well, let's see. So there's two different types of Dreco ranches, because we can make the regular Dreco ranches for the reed fiber. And then we also need the what's the other type? Let me grab this guy and look. We also need the glossy Drecos for the plastic. And we badly need the plastic. That's going to be important. Plastic and steel are the two things that we need in order to make cooling loops work correctly and well. And then once we have cooling loops, we have infinite power. Well, not infinite electricity power, but like infinite playing the game power will be OP. Yeah. So that's the big things. Steel will be easy enough, especially once they actually do this, which it looks like they're coming over here every now and then, but this is rough for them to have to go through. Yeah, they can hardly even get through there. That's annoying. Is this noticeably... Yeah, that's noticeably going down already. And then these are off-gassing and expanding that out. That's kind of annoying, though. Can I have them come down here and get rid of all this, actually? If you could, that would be great. Here we go. Hopefully they'll do that. Of course, they're still off-gassing over here, but whatever. In fact, let's make a thing here. We'll put off-gassing stuff underwater so then they can't off-gas anymore. Not sweep only. We'll do... Where is it? Tech component? No. Sublimators, I suppose, we'll want in there. And then we need... Organic. Polluted dirt, polluted mud, rot piles, and slime all need to go into there. And then that's going to be 9, because that's very important. And then we'll copy the settings to the others. Ooh, new printable. Hardy Sec 39, jeez. So there's the Eduardo. Construction booster, so he's good at building. Less medicine and less science, because he's error prone. Less medicine doesn't really matter, but less science is annoying. Alright, we're not getting bionic dupes anyways though, so let's look at Meep. Rocketry and tidying, they have super hard digging and hard digging that they start off with, but they're a mouth breather and they're unconstructive, so bleh, bad. Ashcan is a big rancher, and they also have a morale boost while in space, which is kind of counterproductive to ranching, because you don't really want to be ranching in space in your little tiny rockets, so that ain't useful at all. Yeah. But they build slow. We want fast builders. And they're also building impaired. Actually, Meep just can't build, which is very bad. So I think we'll just take the brine, because Ashcan would be the best of these, and he's not that great. I don't know. 10 ranching. I mean, less construction doesn't mean no construction. And we wouldn't be using them for constructing as much as just ranching. I don't know. I already have a rancher, though. I mean, we can always use more ranchers, but for only ranching and not being able to build as good, I just think it's bad. Yeah, let's just get the brine. We don't need too much duplicants right away anyways. That's always a rookie mistake, is getting too much duplicants. Okay, now that this is built, symbol read, please. We'll get some free reed fiber from that. That will be nice. Okay, they're starting to dig that out, or build that in to dig it out. See how carbon dioxide is faring. Not too bad. Let's sweep all this up, by the way. They can at least breathe down here from the polluted oxygen, so they don't have to go up when they are down already. And this is just gonna get better as it goes along. Really just want to go low more now. Well, let's put the plans in for it, at least, I guess. Okay, this needs to get excavated. Oh, you need Masterworks for that? That's kind of annoying. Okay, well, I didn't know you needed artwork in order to excavate. All right, that should be fine then. Let's see how the bathroom loop is looking. I haven't poured any into this. Let's turn that high, please. We need some water to start. Once they start peeing in there, then getting more water won't matter. Who's suffocating? Hey. You're fine. Yeah, what are you talking about? You're fine. Why would you need blueprints for digging up fossils, though? I guess they use a fossil brush. That's kind of like a paintbrush. Can I mop any of this? Only the parts that don't matter. Oh. Oh well. As long as it's wet only at the bottom for like one tile. They don't really go into it, so it shouldn't matter too much. How does this extend? Okay. Can I put some airflow tiles here? Just to make sure that this has an increased range. You can see the vacuums being made, and that's kind of funny. Not pressurized down here at all. Okay. Let's do this. It's because this area doesn't let as much through as it should. Okay. Slowly getting better. Oh boy. Is this starting to fill up yet? Okay, it's getting some, but the wrong side. Let's cut this quick. Actually, what if I build this over, but then cut this? Okay. And then that's gonna help fill up the loop now, so it's gonna start filling. Good. That should be fine, actually. I'll leave it there just in case we do need more. Alright, yeah, I think we should just start doing the Draco farms right away. Okay, so we're going to need... Let's look just at a standard. So if we were digging... Okay, so doors are going to be like right here. So blah, blah, blah. We need 96 tiles. So it would be this long if it was a normal. But probably a little longer anyways, because we'll be putting some blocks inside. So each ranch is going to have 8 Drekos in it. And we're going to want room for the shearers, because we want to shear them in the thing. Which... where's the shearing stuff? Is it in food? Yeah, stations, isn't it? Yeah, stations. Shearing station is 3 wide. And then our grooming station, which we have a lot of different types of grooming stations. We can probably use all 3 of the special types. Those are 2 wide, so we'll have 5 spaces needed. A Dreko is this guy. They're like lizard sheep, basically. You shear them and you get their fibers, like wool. Dreko, domesticatable critter. Drekos are non-hostile critters that gaze on pincha pepper plants, balm lily, or mealwood plants. Their backsides are covered in thick woolly fibers that only grow in hydrogen climates. So in order to grow their wool, the fibers, we have to actually have them in hydrogen. So we have to have access to the ventilation and stuff to be able to manipulate the what gases are going where. So they're a little more annoying to deal with than hatches, but they're way more worth it, because other than just power and food, they give you... those fibers are good for making the exosuits, like I said earlier, and the exosuits are great. We definitely need exosuits, so we're going to need them for that. Yeah, they do kind of look like oatmeal. It is kind of funny. But then they also have a morph, and the morph is even more important than these ones. There's the glossy Drekos. They eat mealwoods or bristle blossoms, and they make bioplastic scales that also grow in hydrogen gas. So they make plastic when you shear them. Just straight up plastic, and a lot of plastic each shear. 150 kilograms each shear, that's a lot. Especially when you have ranches of them. I think what I might do is I'll have 1 ranch of just normal Drekos, and then I'll have 2 or 3 ranches, maybe, yeah, I might do 3 ranches of the glossy ones to get a lot of plastic, because plastic is really good. We're going to need a lot of plastic for stuff. We're going to need plastic for researching in space. We're going to need plastic for building better tiles that duplicants will run faster on. Because actually, if we pull up just the normal tile, one of the benefits, the effects, is that their run speed is 25% faster. But there's also stuff like metal tiles, which needs refined metal. Takes a lot of it per tile, but it has a run speed of 50%. It also has good decor. The plastic tile, which we can get if we research the home luxuries, it also has 50% just like the metal, but it only takes plastic instead of metal, so it's easier to get. And then we can get plastic ladders, which they climb up way faster, so it's great. And then we can also get big beds, which are nice. Wood tile is good for decor, but they don't have a bonus on that. Also, so textile production is what we'll use for the basic things for the reed fibers that we'll get from the normal Drekos. You can make carpet tiles. Carpet tiles, they actually run slower on, but they have a huge amount of decor that they make, so they're good for putting into like ceilings and stuff. And when they walk on them, they actually get a buff that makes their morale higher, so it's good. Like just directly, their stress like decreases faster, so it's great. But then we're gonna need the exosuits here. As you can see, there's a whole docking system and everything, so they're gonna be good for that. But the main reason we need plastic, aside from plastic tiles and ladders and stuff, we want the plastic to make a steam turbine, which I can also look at the research. I don't think we have that unlocked yet. But we need the steam turbine, which is very useful because we can use the steam turbine combined with the aqua tuner, the thermo aqua tuner. Because what the thermo aqua tuner does is it has a... Actually, we can look at it because we have it under utilities. It has a pipe input and a pipe output. It cools the liquid piped into it by 14 degrees, no matter what. We can use a liquid with a lot of thermal heat capacity, and that means that putting the 14 degrees lower out of it is a lot of cooling. And then pumps it out, so then it's cooler. That's how you make cooling loops. Now these things, the actual building itself will heat up though. It'll take the heat from the liquid, basically, is what the effect is. So you need to be able to cool the actual building itself down somehow. So you might think, oh, well, what's the point then? You're just moving the heat elsewhere, which moving heat is pretty useful anyways. But what you can do is, if you put this into a little room with water, and then you let it heat up enough, just enough, so that it turns the water into steam, and then you can use the steam turbine that'll take the steam and turn it back into water that's a little bit cooler, so it ends up deleting the heat from the steam. And then you can just pipe the water back into the room, and then it can keep going, and that'll cool off the thermal aqua tuner, and then you can send that piped liquid out throughout your base or wherever you need it to go for cooling. So it's just literally free cooling. It's so good. It's so good. That's how you get really good cooling in specific areas of your base. You can use it to make freezers and stuff. It's so good. So we're going to need plastic for that steam turbine. Also, you can use it for... use the steam turbines for stuff where, like, the if we had a metal volcano that made liquid metal, you can basically, the room where the aqua tuner is, if you put the metal volcano in that same steam room, it'll cool down the metal the same way, and you can actually get power out of that. And that's how you tame metal volcanoes. If I were to geotune the saltwater geyser so that it made it hot enough to come out as steam, then you could use the steam turbines to get out the water directly that way, and then also some power from that. If I had a steam vent somewhere that just made steam, that's how you would tame them. So yeah, it's very powerful, and later game steam turbines are one of your main ways that you make power. Just a lot of power that way. You can do stuff with lava to make geothermal power. Use a steam room to cool down from the lava. It's great. Also, I'm pretty sure this is just fully ready then, once this fills up a little more. Once it backs up to the output of this, I will be a lot less hesitant about it. Let's also... not too much else to do, is there? Not at the moment, at least. Is this going? It would be going if there was actually carbon dioxide getting down here. And then, of course, we have all the chlorine getting expanded, which ain't great. Anyways, so... for the regular geckos, I'm going to want to feed them these plants here, the bomb lilies. Because these bomb lilies, they don't actually take anything to grow. They grow just on their own for free. The only thing that they need to have to grow is be in chlorine gas. So you just want to have the tiles that they're on be in chlorine, and then that's fine, super easy. Then the rest of the room can be whatever, as long as you have them contained in the right way, with the right ratios. And then, yeah, they're easy for that. They do need to be pretty warm though too. They need to be at least 35 degrees. So we're going to have to add some heating slash cooling into this, but heating for them for the most part. Because right here it's cooler, cooler part. I think we'll use a thermo, not the thermo aqua tuner. We'll probably use, do we have it unlocked? We do not, but we'll get it unlocked. Yeah, it's right here. We'll use the thermoregulator for that, because we also can use the thermoregulator to cool down the other things we're going to need to cool down. So we'll feed them the bomb lilies. You could also feed them pinch of peppers, but those take water and stuff, which I'd rather not do. I'd rather just use free bomb lilies. So that's how we'll ranch the normal Drekos. And then for the glossy Drekos, they eat 2 different plants. They could eat the mealwoods, or they could eat, if I could find one on the map, it would be cool. We might not have one on the map though. Yeah, I think we may have dug them all up already. Yeah, I don't see one. I think we dug them up already. But you can also feed them the bristle blossom. Now the bristle blossom takes water to make, so you could turn water into plastic basically that way. Or you could just use the mealwoods, and the mealwoods just need dirt, so you can turn dirt into plastic. And I like that a lot more, so we'll do that. So let's think about this. For the bomb lilies and the mealwoods, they'll need a similar setup. So they're gonna need like a lip. Actually, let's go to plumbing, not plumbing, food. So they'll want to be in farm tiles, I suppose. And then what we'll do is we'll need like a lip like this. So we'll have the plants in here with some gas here. The lip will make sure that they stay in while the other gas is above. And then that'll be good. Oh, we're also going to want to make liquid locks because we're going to want hydrogen inside of the farms. So then they grow. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we're going to do that, and then we're going to have the shearing station and the grooming station be on this side of it, and then on this side we'll kind of just have some extra room, I suppose. How do I want to have it set up? There's a lot of different things we could do with this. I think I don't want them to have full access to the whole room. What I can do is I can put little blobs of water, different types of waters in between up to the ceiling, and they don't like to walk through water, so I can contain them to one side of the room while the other side is just open for whatever we need. So then they wander around less, which means they'll come to get sheared and to get groomed faster, which is more efficient, so that's always good. Yeah, I think we'll do something like that. And then we're gonna need liquid locks because we don't want the hydrogen or the other gas escaping. All right, so let's plan this out. So our like normal pneumatic door is just going to go here. We'll do something like that. We want this to be thermally isolated, so we should actually snow tile. We should actually want to have, let's keep that running. We want this done already because I want that done already, please. And then we actually should just get into this because we're going to need the thermoregulator, and before we actually build, I want insulated tiles. That's going to be important. Insulated doors won't matter as much since we're going to do liquid locks anyways. But the tiles are going to be good. Who is starving? You're not starving though. Stop saying you're starving when you're not. Oh my gosh. Okay, finally that research is done. Now we can grab these two, please. Also, might as well get into catalytics. Soda fountain would be funny. Create soda from water and carbon dioxide, and that's some free morale there. Oxalite refinery, bleachstone hopper, those are going to be useful later. Oh yeah, I gotta make sure this is copied over so then we don't run out of room for those things. And actually we can kind of just make this as... We'll just make it 5. Alright. Valdo earned a skill. Okay, you are the farmer. You can second in ranching, so you'll be another rancher then. Alrighty. Pretty good, pretty good. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. Maybe. I have to jump back into satisfactory. I kind of stalled out there. I don't know. It wasn't even at the part where things start to get overwhelming. Like I didn't even make the turbo fuel stuff yet even. I don't know what's up with it. I just really couldn't keep going for some reason. I mean, I had other stuff going on anyways, but you know. You're not suffocating, you're fine. Big blob of chlorine ink, right? Okay, so we should have... That's almost halfway there, okay. Just waiting on the research, to be honest. How do I want to go about this? Who has unpermitted food? What do you mean? What other food? Oh, we're low on food. Okay. I guess I'll have to allow the pemmican. Yeah, we need food fast, please. Well, the Drecos certainly aren't going to get up fast, so we should just place down some more of these guys. $15 should be good. Get some more mealwoods going. Let's see here. What else can I do with plant husks? Can be eaten by moose or turned into fuel or building materials. Fuel, huh? Let's look at this. So the building materials is the plywood, yeah. All right. Silly. Processed into fuel, huh? What does that mean? How do you process it into fuel? It doesn't say there. I know biofuel is in the game now. Let's see how that's made. Biodiesel. It's made from tallow. It's made in the emulsifier from bleach stone and phyto oil. How do you make phyto oil? From slime, so that's not... Wonder why it said you can make fuel out of it. Huh. Well, I suppose plywood can be a fuel like coal. I guess that's what they mean. I don't know, that's kind of not how I would think of it. Anyways, this will hopefully be enough for the extra duplicants that we now have. It'll take a little bit to run up, but we have stuff like muckroot and stuff I can emergency dig up if it's really bad. Build this last one, please. Thank you. All right. And those will always be top priority because that is important. All right. Didn't even mop that up yet. Whatever, that doesn't matter. We did do this, so I should put that there. Okay, that's good, so now we have that. So I think this floor here will be just kind of the staging floor. Let's see. We want these specifically made out of not granite. I don't know why we'd want it out of granite. We want it out of igneous rock because that's the most insulative of these. Thermal conductivity of only 2. Which these also have thermal conductivity of only 2. But igneous rock has a higher heat capacity, which is also important. Fossil ain't too bad either, but it's less than, so you might as well just use igneous. All right, let's see here. What do I want to do? So like the whole big main room is going to be mostly, everything's going to be hydrogen. And then inside of the little rooms, the only stuff... Oh, wait a second. What can I do? So for the mealwood rooms, the glossy Draco rooms, the mealwoods need either carbon dioxide or oxygen. So I can make that room just have oxygen on the lower layers. Ah, but if I want it contained, I don't know. It depends. I wish like I already had exosuits already. That would make things easier, but I don't know. It's always like a catch-22 type thing, but we'll figure it out. For now, they'll just have to suffer with the burnt eyelids. It's not burnt eyelids, it's whatever it's called. It's the itchy eyes. You don't have it, but someone here does. Nope, nope. You're about to get it when you come through here. Eye irritation, yeah. You'll get the same thing from the hydrogen as well. But they can tough that out until we actually have the suits. So I think the main area will all be hydrogen. And then we'll just have the little tiny bits of chlorine and little tiny bits of oxygen or carbon dioxide in the area directly where the plants are. Okay. So we'll want a liquid lock. How do we want to do this? Do we want to just build it right here, I suppose? I want it insulated. So maybe a step up. Da, 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 da. Do, do. And then we'll do something like this. And then this will continue on here. And then we can build whatever we need in there. Actually, let's get rid of that then. And then we'll do the water in here. I suppose that's fine. Let's make that right away. So then that'll be our liquid lock. Pretty important piece of the plan here. And then from there we can build out this way, and we can't expand into this if we need. Can't go too far this way though, because we don't want to end up there. All right, so I think the first floor here will make the normal Draco farm, and then above will be where the others will be. Okay, let's choose a blueprint. We could get a mealwood seed. Doesn't do much. I'd probably rather grab the brine than the mealwood because brine is useful. Stela we are not grabbing. Let's see. Ashcan. You're a digger, a builder, and a tidier. That's great. You have super hard digging already, and you're frostproof. But you fart, and I really don't want a farter, so I think we'll just have to take the brine. I mean, we're already low on food right now. I don't think we want to be taking more duplicants right now anyways. All right, Pei can start farming better too, so they'll both be farmers and ranchers. Let's make their priorities reflect that. Pei already is doing that. All right, good. These take a long time to build. I want to look at the... Let's search some liquids while they're building that. The brine. 102.8 down to -22. All right. Salt water. 99.7 down to -7.5. And then just water. 99.4 down to -0.6. Okay. Probably do brine then. Most stable. Well, things are getting in the way, but we will be getting there. We will get to the surface eventually. We're gonna have to do rockets and stuff, so we will have to be at the surface. The surface is pretty dangerous though. It's a big vacuum out there. It's like super, super cold. There's asteroids that, or I guess meteorites is what they would be all. There's meteorites that hit the planet every now and then. So it is very desolate place, but we can reach it, and we will eventually. I'm just annoyed at how it's going. In fact, you know, we can probably extend it now that we can get through obsidian. That, I think that was the main reason why we couldn't. So let's just go right to there, I suppose. Dig this out. And you know what, here, I'll even prioritize it for you. We'll probably get there this stream. Alrighty. Ooh, I forgot about this. Yeah, this is the somnium synthesizer, isn't it? Let's look at it, even though we don't actually have it yet. Story trait, somnium synthesizer. I've discovered a new dream analyzing building buried deep inside our asteroid. It seems to contain new sleep-specific suits. Could these be the key to unlocking my duplicant's ability to dream? I've often wondered what they might be capable of once their imaginations were awakened. Now this thing is even more overpowered than a steam room, I tell you. They're great. They're so good. That thing, it just makes the colony run so much more smoothly. But that's something for way later. We are not even close to being able to use it good. Alright, so we're probably going to have to extend these longer, but we'll see. Okay, so the main room's going to be all hydrogen, so this is fine. We'll probably just use just a pneumatic door. We'll set it right here, and we'll probably have just a ladder going right up through here. We should actually deconstruct that. And then what we'll do is this will be just built like that. Okay, so we want 1 level, 2 level, 3 level. Let's do a 4th level. Alrighty. Yeah, and then that means this is going to need to be insulated here. I don't know how long it's going to need to be yet, so let's just do that much for now. And then, yeah, this will just be built right up through here. Right up until there. So let's start digging this out, I suppose. Don't like how close that is, but that's not the actual farm bit anyways. In fact, we don't need to dig that much. We only need to dig that much. Pull this over to here. Nope, don't want to do that. All right. Now we do want to isolate the one room from the rest of these rooms at least a little bit, just for the just so then the heat doesn't escape it too bad. Okay, yeah, this is how I want things. Okay. And then what we're gonna do is we will have this like that, that, and that. Okay. Okay, so we're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then grooming stations. I think we'll have our normal grooming station here. Then we'll have our regal grooming station here. And then we'll have our overgrown grooming station here. And then our rustic grooming station here. And then each of these is going to need a shearing station. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then from there, gonna want like this. Yeah. And then I'm gonna have to remember how much of each we're gonna need. Let's look at Drecos quick. So for the regular Draco, 6% growth per cycle. A lot less than it used to be. It's 25% growth per cycle of a mealwood. Oh, that's like the full growth over the whole time period, though. How long do these grow? Life cycle is 3. 3 cycles, so a quarter of 3 cycles. Three-quarters of them. So then 8. So I'd need 6 mealwoods for the glossy Dracos, I think. Actually, let's look at glossy Dracos. They might have a different... Yeah, they have a 33%. Okay, so 3 times 0.33. So basically, each glossy Draco needs a mealwood. So I'll need 8 mealwoods then. Let's build that then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it'll be something like that. And then we will have a bottle emptier on there for that. Okay. And then for the bomb lilies, let's check with that again. So they take 6% of the growth per cycle. The full growth takes 12 cycles. So 12 times 0.06. So they take like 3/4 of the plant per Draco. Times 8. So we can get away with 6 bomb lilies. Alright. Pretty sure that's how this will work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I don't want to put in the lip here yet, because we'll need to fill this gap first before putting in that lip. Alrighty. Well, I'll let them continue that while I'm thinking on this. Insufficient oxygen generation. Come on, we're making plenty of oxygen, right? Yeah, we're at a good pressure for most of this. We're fine. Lacking resources, huh? No water. Okay, we just need to deconstruct this. Right away, please. Oh, we can make a fancy one. I didn't even know. Okay, once it's dead. Now we put that right there. And build yourself fast. We need water for research. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 96 plus 12, 108. So I need this to be 108 then. So it actually needs to reach out all the way to here. So they need to dig that. And then that means that they need to actually do this if I'm going to have the full ranch size. And then for this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 96 plus 10, 106. Which is still the same length, but then 2 tiles are blocked off then. Okay. So we are going to need to come all the way out here. So this will be the bounding box for the whole place then. Deconstruct those. And then we'll just put in like blah 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 blah. There we go. What is yellow alert still? Why aren't you being made? Oh, you need ladders, of course. There we go. Now they should do it fast. Can't path over. Now it's being made. Two duplicants are sick with slime lung right now. Yeah. Ugh. Everywhere. Blah. Ooh, skill point. Let's look at that. Do I want to put them into construction right away or put them into better carrying? Probably more construction, I suppose. Building faster is great. This is filled up good enough where this can just be deconstructed entirely. That liquid pipe can be deconstructed. There we go. And we just need to mop this up quick. Once this fills up all the way, then it'll start feeding the thimbleweed. And this can fill things now too. Good. Research is going again. This is slowly getting dug out and built in. Great, great. Now let me look at some ventilation stuff while that's going on. So we got a canister filler. This thing takes a pipe of gas into it, and then they can take out canisters manually. Okay. Canister drainer takes the canisters and then puts it into a pipe directly from a canister. Canister emptier takes canisters and just dumps it into the environment directly. instead of putting it into a pipe like the canister drainer does. The canister emptier is probably going to be pretty good for us. And then, yeah, not too much else. Gas pump is going to be good because this is how we actually get the gas into container form. And we're also going to want to vacuum this whole thing out, which is going to take forever too, but whatever. Air grilling or more, ooh, plumbing. We'll give you that. Also, let's see how the digging is going. Oh, here we go. You can see the space exposure already. Once they get a little closer. So this here is the space biome. Also, we have a crashed satellite right there. That's kind of cool. Crashed satellite. A discarded journal inside remains mostly intact. I scanned the pages of use. New database entry discovered. And then we got that. So if we go to the we go to Shift F4, radiation overlay. A lot of radiation there. We have another wrecked satellite here. Same deal. Cool. And we just researched that stuff. No. They don't have any like special stuff. They only have the exact same stuff as other buildings, I believe, but they're super radiated. So they give us the, nope, not that. They give us the radiation. It's a lot of radiation. The other way to get rads easy early game is from these Weezwarts, which you can do. If you had a lot of shine bugs, you could get a lot of radiation, but that's more hassle than just doing Weezwarts. But the radiation, it's bad for the duplicants, but it is good for research, because in order to get, let's see here. Yeah, in order to get the yellow research, the applied sciences research, you need the materials study terminal. One moment. I don't want this song. Sure. All right, so in order to get the yellow research, the applied sciences research, you need to do the material science research here, which needs radiation. So in order to do radiation stuff for research purposes. Then also you can, later down the line, radiation can be used to make rad bolts, which are used for other things. You can make nuclear reactors for power and other stuff. It's pretty interesting. And then once this here is done constructing, I'll plug these up. And then this will be one big room with mini rooms. All right. This needs to get dug out. And actually, we need these to be, until it's ready, we need them to be mesh tile. There we go. So these will all be mesh tiles, so then we can, oh wait. We want it here, not here. We want this here. All right, that should work fine. This isn't going to be the only thing for this farm, by the way, because we need an area to process the eggs and stuff and destroy the extras as well. All right, let's see what we get now. We're already at cycle 45. Jeez, it's flying by. Speaking of, we're probably going to end stream soon. All right, so Stela we're not taking. Let's see, we could get alveolara seeds, which are useless, but if we don't want these dupes, we might as well take one. Okay, let's look at Maya. So they are a builder, they have grilling, they're not a good doctor, and they're not good at germ stuff, but that's fine. To be honest, for a builder, they're pretty okay. That skill is kind of useless, but I could scrub it maybe. And then Steve, operator, digger, and supplier. That's great. And they're a rock fan, so when meteor showers are happening, which doesn't be too relevant, but they have great interest, but they're a fighter, so I don't want them. To be honest, if I'm going to take a dupe right now, it needs to be a good dupe, because I don't want to be taking dupes right now. So I think we'll just take the seed. This one just isn't good enough. Also, do we have any extra suits? Warm coats. Show me the warm coat. Might as well give Otto a warm coat. And then I suppose Bert can have the other warm coat. They might as well take warm coats. Once we have the Drecos up and stuff, we can make a bunch of snazzy suits so they can all have a bunch of good decor. Also, ooh, the overgrown grooming station is kind of cool. So is the Regal one. Trying to think how I want this exactly. It's very complicated because I want everything to be perfect, but it can't all be perfect all the time. Actually, wait. I think I want this different. Do I want it like this? I think what I should do is extend it out farther. Put a pneumatic door like right here. Get a tile, and then it'll just be a single tile because that'll be easier to pitcher pump in. Do the same deal here. So then that's going to be 3 more tiles then. Let's see here. So for these ones, it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 96 plus 13, 109. This goes to 108, so I need to go extra and then... Oh. Alright, so then we'd basically be pulling out like that. So we need Just like that. And then we're gonna need another ladder on this side. Actually, that's for... What am I doing? I have this backwards. Well, actually, you know what? I don't know if I have the math right. I'm gonna look up how much meal woods does one Dreco ranch need? One glossy Dreco ranch need. We need 3 meal wood plants for every 4 Drecos. So you only actually need 6, so this is actually overkill. Now let's see how much bomb lilies. How much bomb lilies does one Dreco ranch need? For a ranch of standard Drecos, a ratio of 0.75 bomb lilies per Dreco is optimal. So that's also 3 to 4. So they both of them just need the 6. Okay, so it's the same for both farms. So this is going to be exactly the same. And we might as well put a ladder here. Might as well dig this too. And we're gonna need these dug out. Now we want normal. All right, and then that should be correct. That should be correct and perfect. So what we're gonna want to do is these tiles here are gonna need to be mesh. Blah, 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 and blah. The rest of these can all be normal. Why can't you move? What are you doing? You can move, you just aren't. Why? You're broken. Why aren't you moving? There we go, now you're fixed. Jeez. Got stuck there for a moment. So all this extra space can be used for basically whatever we wanted. If the... Actually, yeah. Those can be used for basically whatever we want. Because once the liquid is filled up there, this whole little capsule past here actually doesn't even care about any of the gases over here because it's blocked by a liquid. That's not bad at all. So these are going to be bomb lilies once we get them here. We'll need 6 bomb lilies. Is there that much in this biome? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so once we dig out this biome here, we won't even need to like grow extra seeds. Kind of want to get this finished up quick. I don't know. Well, we got the space at least, so that's kind of cool. Actually, let's get, you know what we'll do? We'll go to space proper, and then we'll end the episode that way. We're gonna get right here. That should be what we'll do. And then in the next episode, we'll continue with this more. Because there is gonna be some logistics with that. A lot of rads. Nearly 2k on this one. 2k inside. That one's a little less. Okay. Not sure exactly how far out we have to go for it to trigger. But there's a thing that triggers when we get to space. Oh, there's some shovels. That's what runs around in this area. Got some more dead bomb lilies over here. Mirth leaves and stuff. Let's hope we don't have to break through, because I don't want these shovels getting inside being annoying. Wait, what? A knit larva that's flopping around because it can't survive without water. That's sad. Oh. I was like, how cold is this? Good, let's keep that cold, because I don't want this mercury getting everywhere. Having liquid mercury floating around everywhere would be horrible. Oh, also, there's another Draco out here, but he's in space. That's a lot of sea comb just sitting there. We'll probably tap into that at some point. That's the other thing. For food that's going to be good. We can do the paku for that. Get a lot of seafood. That'll be nice. And to feed the sea combs the extra stuff. The polluted dirt, we have plenty of that on the map already. I don't think you would be. I mean, it depends on the circumstance. Also, geez, this is taking forever. I guess that is all helium right there. Our research is done. Oh, we researched material science. Okay, then. What do we actually want? We want solid transport. Getting solid control would be nice, but that means we're going to need material research. But I'll just have it do that for now. Come on, why isn't it counting as me in space yet? I see all this space here. There's literally space. What, does my duplicate have to go into space? He might have to. That's kind of a bummer. Because if you look... Negative 66. Not quite as cold as... basically as cold as here, but along this whole area it's cold, except when it's hot. Which it'll get hot once there's meteors. Because meteors are super hot. I forgot what they cannot go through. They cannot burrow through refined metals. So I assume I'd have to make like a manual airlock out of refined or mechanized. Yeah, manual. I do not know why. Well, actually, I'm pretty sure they can't get through pneumatic doors, can they? I don't think so. But I don't know. I don't know why it's not activating the thing. Let's look at the printing pod and see if it says anything specific about that. Let's go to the top here. Where is it? These two achievements are lost forever because they had a timing for them. That'll be cool to get. Where is it? Do we not have it anymore? There used to be an achievement for getting into space. Am I not seeing it? Reach 100 cycles without at least one living duplicate. Yeah, launch your first rocket into space. So we got one for launching a rocket. Nope. 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 No. No. Nope. 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 Why did I not get royal flush? Did I? Oh, we still have these here. I should destroy these, by the way. No. Well, I know there's a thing that pops up kind of like when I clicked over the Somnium synthesizer and I popped up that thing. There's usually a pop-up window for when you get into space, and maybe because it's still background cover here, it's messing it up. We're just not close enough, probably. But there is space. Space is out here, and it is above, and this area is open up even without abyssalite, which is kind of concerning. Because that cold is going to seep in at first, which this is hot here, so that doesn't matter. But then, once meteorites crash, they could crash right into here, and that makes an extreme amount of heat. So we're probably going to want to block this area off at some edge point somewhere, because that could be bad. But this is going good. We got into space. I think I'm going to be done with today for now. It's been a good run. Longer stream than the last two. I'm feeling good about this. I love Draco ranching. It'll be great to have them up and going. Very productive. And then after we get some Dracos going, get some of the reed fiber for suits, and we have the plastic for the plastic needs, we'll want to focus next on getting some steel right away, because that'll be important. And yeah, then from there, we'll... Oh, there we go. We got that achievement for getting rid of those and now only having these. Also, why is there still water here? Get rid of that, please. Thank you. And then what we wanted to put here quick, we put a lamp, and then under automation, do we have... We do not... We have this, yeah. There we go. Also for these, where is their priority? Is on the bottom left. Okay. So this can hit these three. So that's hitting those three. This hits these three, and then that can hit the rest, I guess. And now we need lights for all of them, because giving them lights makes them work faster, makes them pee faster, makes them shower faster, makes them do everything 15% faster. So you always want to have those lights in whenever you can. So we'll use some ceiling lights. We have the fancy polka dot ceiling lights. So for this one, we'll do something like that. We'll do something like that. Hopefully that should be enough light there. This one already has that because I have that space in between. All right, and then for power, I'm just gonna extend this down like this. And then this one can just pull up from there. And then for automation, that connects to there, that connects to there, there, this connects to that. There we go, not too bad. Alrighty. And then I think with that, we'll be done for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. I sure enjoyed today. I'm very happy with how it's been going. And I can't wait for more next time. See you guys next time. And yeah, that's it. Alrighty. Let's zoom out quick. This is the map. This is what we've seen so far. We're gonna do so much cool things on this map. This Jericho farm is just the beginning. It's great. Alrighty. And when we find the teleporter, which I think was... Yeah, right here is the teleporter stuff. We can go to that second planetoid, and that'll be cool to see. So we'll have to tap into here somehow. Maybe come around down here. I don't really want to go through the ocean for it. Although I could kind of just come up right above here. I think I'll probably do that. Pulling from the top there, or just cut around. Alrighty. But yeah, see you guys next time. And I'm out.